you get news that things could really end. Still smile for all my family and friends. I know that they'll be okay. I've made my mark, I'm on my way. Fueled by faith, God's in control. Unwavered fight, it's in my soul. My road is turned and now I see. My job is done, don't cry for me. The song I just sang was one that I wrote for my sister the day after she passed away from a 2.5-year battle with colon cancer. My heart was completely shattered. And as a musician and songwriter, I poured all of my emotions into music, into writing. Everything that I was feeling at that time in my heart, the sadness, the grief, the loss, all came out and came into a song that was my interpretation of her cancer journey. My sister was not only incredibly loved by many, but she was a fighter and a warrior, fueled by her Christian faith, which is why I named that song, Fueled by Faith. My sister's initial symptoms were not taken seriously, and when she was diagnosed, she had stage 4 cancer. As a result of this, she became a colon cancer advocate and was educating others about the importance of getting screened early. According to the Mayo Clinic, many people don't experience symptoms in the early stages, which is why colonoscopies are so important, yet many people will skip. Little did I know that my sister's story and her song would eventually turn into my why. Now, my sister was not only an advocate, but I had been an advocate too for most of this lifetime. After high school, I was an advocate for patients. I was a paramedic, driving Code 3 around the streets of San Diego, helping others with their health emergencies. I didn't know at the time, but all my experience as a paramedic would shape how I would advocate not only for others, but for myself. After a 6-year paramedic run, the instability of my job with contract negotiations drove many to go back to school. I took a class that captured my attention, and soon my career would transition into advocating for the truth, for the faceless victims whose lives have been lost or impacted due to a crime. The world of forensics was fascinating, and for 20 years, I analyzed evidence, conducted research, taught law enforcement agencies globally, and was on a prestigious forensic board. It was an amazing career, but my intuition would tell me I had more work to do, and soon I would transition into doing something else. In 2017, I listened to my intuition and I quit my job cold turkey and became an entrepreneur. So advocating has always been a part of my career, but little did I didn't realize that there would come a time where I would have to advocate for me. In 2008, I was married with a newborn and an 18-month-old when I received a phone call that changed my life. I knew something was wrong at the time, as I had been experiencing vertigo for several months. I went to my primary care physician, who then sent me to a specialist. After seeing that specialist and after they did an exam, they wanted me to do physical therapy, but I said no. I knew my body, I knew something was wrong, and I wanted an MRI. Now, having been a paramedic and around physicians for many years, I wasn't intimidated by them. And maybe being a middle child, an Aries, half Peruvian, half Norwegian, you could say I'm a little stubborn at times when I want something. So after a round and round discussion with this specialist, he agreed to order an MRI. So when I picked up that phone call to get my results, that same specialist said to me, "Well, we actually found something." On December 21st, 2008, my self-advocating journey began. Having been diagnosed with a rare brain tumor led me on a year-long quest to seek the appropriate treatment and find the right doctors. I did my due diligence, educating myself about that rare tumor and researching the different treatment options and getting various opinions. After I had collected all of that data, I knew what treatment I wanted. And when my physician submitted it, my insurance company denied it. But as my sister was, I was a fighter too. And I advocated for that treatment because I knew it was best for me. I've lived with this body my entire life, and I know what's best for her. With the help from an amazing attorney, we appealed, and within a couple months, I got a phone call that we'd won. And within a few weeks, I received that treatment I advocated for. So you can see advocacy has always been a part of my journey in my careers for myself, and I didn't know it would lead me to places to use all of those experiences to help others. This year, I was asked to be a member of a group called Project Apollo in San Diego. Most of the members have had to self-study, self-advocate on behalf of their complex medical conditions and found that sharing this information with others would help others have a smoother health journey. I'm excited to be creating some guidelines for others who need to self-advocate. So I've been talking a lot about advocating, and I want to define it a little bit more and share with you how combining two powerful tools can make an even bigger impact. Two things that you normally wouldn't see together, but can join forces for the greater good: advocating and music. Let's first talk about advocating. What is an advocate? An advocate is inspired by a cause, something they feel deeply about that they want to share with others. An illness or a loss of a loved one or a friend, or perhaps their own diagnosis or injustice are a few reasons why someone might advocate. An experience that changed their life so much that they don't want others to experience what they did. Advocating is powerful. It creates awareness, and it inspires others to take action. And taking action creates prevention. Now let's talk about music and how music can be a powerful lyric to advocating. Music has always been part of my life. I fell in love with singing when I was a little girl and continued in high school and into my adult years. My dear high school friend, Mark Halls, taught me guitar lessons and encouraged me to write songs. And he's also the one who helped me finish and produce the song that I wrote for my sister. Music is a powerful tool. It binds people together. In Anthony Storr's book, Music and the Mind, he shares how music can penetrate the core of our physical being, how it can make us weep and temporarily transform our entire existence. It can bring about a similar physical response with different people at the same time, which is why music draws groups together and creates a sense of unity. We've seen this before, right? At a music venue, a concert, where people are singing together, dancing together, united and lost in music, regardless of their race, gender, or religious or political beliefs. Music is a universal language for connection. So when I wrote that song for my sister, it was very cathartic and healing for me. And Mark and I released it in the hopes that we would raise some money for a colon cancer group in San Diego in honor of my sister. But little did I know that idea would then take a major shift in direction a few years later. During a global pandemic in 2020, I was thinking about how I wanted to continue my sister's legacy. The pandemic was a time of reflection for many, especially me as a serial entrepreneur. And it was during this time that I created a lyric video. And I incorporated my sister's song, her story, with colon cancer statistics and facts. I wanted others to connect to her journey battling cancer so that they would wake up and get screened. And one by one, email by email, I reached out to colon cancer organizations, and the response was overwhelming. I had no idea that those that would receive my cold email would reply that they were touched and moved to tears by what they had just watched, that they would then want to collaborate in some way to share her story, share that video, and create awareness together. The Colon Cancer Foundation asked Mark and I to play her song at the virtual concert, and the Colorectal Cancer Alliance asked me to become a spokesperson. But what I wanted to happen, what I prayed would happen, did. People reached out to me and told me they finally got screened. I've served mankind for years as a paramedic helping others with their health emergencies, and as a forensic analyst, making society a better place to live, and now through personal loss, which has become my why, to help others consciously advocate so that they can heal, inspire, and unite the human collective. So if this did this for me, what could it do for others? What would it do for humanity? What are you passionate about that you've always wanted to give voice to? What ways could you use your voice to help others take action? Who can you bring into your movement to create collective change? And what if your message was embedded in someone's mind, encased around melody and rhythm? Maybe music will be the critical voice that creates the awakening to unite us during these times of chaos and separation. When we are divided by speech, we are united and reunited through the power of song. Thank you.